Hey guys, Chaps here, and this video's kinda different than what I've been doing recently. This goes back to kinda some of the old videos I did back in Gears 4. I'm gonna try and do this mostly in one take, which is very different from the scripted videos I normally do. But I figured I'd make a nice relaxed video talking about the in-game store for Gears 5, as it's been a pretty popular topic. I tweeted a couple things about it last night, and my phone has been vibrating non-stop since then. So I'm glad that there's a lot of discussion about it. It is kind of annoying going on my phone, but I made a Reddit post about it this afternoon during lunch, and it basically covered all the points I wanted to talk about. But that Reddit post actually started out as a script for a video I was going to make, but I decided just to post it. So here we go. I'm going to go through the Reddit thread and add a couple other things on there. The TLDR of it is that if you don't like things, vote with your wallet, stop buying stuff. There's a lot of people pissed about the store. I am as well, even though I'm not one to buy stuff. The Coalition has definitely heard the feedback, and there's no doubt that they're going to be changing something. It's not going to happen right away, but they have heard the feedback. To start off, I wanted to talk about feedback a little bit, and there's been a lot of negative feedback. I know I've been part of that as well. Usually I try to make it constructive, but there has been a lot of negative feedback on Twitter, Reddit, forums, YouTube, wherever. And that's healthy. But it also needs to be balanced by positive feedback. Something that I don't think a lot of people realize this is that negative feedback is good. One of my favorite YouTube channels is Smarter Every Day. And a while back, Destin, the host of it, posted it's a chart about a feedback loop. And I guess I'll throw it up on screen. But basically, this isn't really to do with giving people feedback. It's more of just a electrical system or mechanical system. But when I first saw it, it really stood out as something that had to do with Gears feedback to me. And it's, if you just have positive feedback, you're going to just go out of control in a certain direction. If you just have negative feedback, you're going to go out of control in another direction. You need that balance to help you zero in on your end target. So I've been leaning more towards the negative side. Cherry Quench, good friend, awesome Horde YouTuber and streamer, go check him out. He brought up on Twitter that there's been way too much negative and there needs to be more people doing positive stuff. So that's kind of the purpose of this video. This is very critiquing of the Coalition and what they've done, but hopefully it's in a constructive manner. Alright, so let's start off. Why do we need a store like this? Well, TC is a business, they need to make money, there isn't a season pass, and microtransactions are the new industry standard. So we have this games as a service model. And just like any industry, if you're selling something as a service, a lot of the times your upfront sales are you're selling something at a loss. Chances are TC is losing money on every copy of Gears that they sell. Well, I guess that's not fair. They're not selling Gears isn't really making up for the amount of money that it costs for them to develop it. They need some way to gain money over the years, and games as a service is the new model that a lot of companies are going with for this. Game Pass definitely didn't help them on that either. They're not selling DLC maps. They're not selling characters. They are selling character skins, but they're not selling characters. They're not selling modes, and there's going to be a ton of free cosmetics. The store actually makes up for a very, very small portion of the paid content in Gears 5, so it's really not that bad. But what is in the store and the way the store works, I've got a few problems with. So let's take a look at it. We're going to start with the cost of iron. Iron is really just it's a middleman between your money and the characters. It seems unnecessary to have, but having that middleman in there makes it a little more ambiguous, and people usually will spend a little bit more. I can't really argue with how much iron cost, being it's just a middleman. But one thing I will point out is that they did this in Gears 4 as well. It's much cheaper to buy the lowest option one and buy multiple of that than it is to buy the big ones. So it's $4.99 for me to buy 500 iron, or that would be $9.98 if I bought 2 of those and got 1,000 iron. If I was just to buy 1,000 iron from the store, it would be $9.99. So yeah, it's only a penny difference, but like there's a ton of packs people are buying, and the difference gets bigger the more the higher the value of the iron. So like with that difference and a lot of people buying iron, those pennies add up. And yes, it's just pennies, but it's the principle of it. It seems kind of shady to me. In like just being fair, they do have bonus iron, so you get this like bonus. I guess I assume it's permanent. Like they're not going to change the store and get rid of this bonus aspect. But if you buy 1,000, you might get like 250 free iron or something like that. So it actually is better to buy in bulk if you want to buy. But having it on there as bonus, just again, it seems kind of sketchy to me. I'm not really a fan of that. I don't expect that to change, but I don't know. So while we can't really debate the cost of iron being it's a middleman, we can discuss how much iron all of the different things in game cost. So characters, let's just start with those because those are the main things people are interested in. I think right now they're $10 each, and they don't, as far as I know, they don't have new lines. They don't have like crazy animated type things on it. It's just a sort of static skin. $10 seems really high to me. I'm not, to be like perfectly clear, I'm not someone who pays for cosmetics and stuff like that in a game, but $10 seems really high. I think that's pretty close to being in line with what other games have though, so maybe it's really not that bad. Weapon skins, I know based on like Gears 3 prices and even probably Gears 4 prices, they're really high right now. I think getting a full set of weapon skins will cost you over $60, so like over the cost of the base game, which is kind of insane. Flags, well, or just banners in general, it's just like a static thing in the background. Like a lot of them are costing $7 or $8. A flag, if you want your country's flag representing you in the background, that's $7. They did say that they are going to do stuff to make it so those are a bit more visible and they're not just like an MVP type thing. So that's good and it will make it more worth the money, but $7 is insane. Emotes, so a lot of those are on a per character basis, especially the ones that I talked about before. And some of those are $10. That's crazy. That's like more expensive than Fortnite. And Fortnite's a free to play game. Marks are cool, but again, like spending more than 50 cents on a mark seems absurd to me. Blood sprays are just like banners where they don't show up often, and the Coalition said that they are going to make them a little more pronounced, more visible, or do something with them to make it more worth it. But still, $7 to $8 for one of those is crazy. The quality of the items they put out a blog post before launch talking about how they're going to release content to the community, whether it's going to be free stuff, RNG type things, paid things, battle pass or tour of duty type stuff. And I liked a lot of what I saw, but when I got to the paid stuff, a red flag went up for me and said, wow, they are going to hide all of the good stuff behind that paywall. And I made a bunch of posts about that on Reddit. And it really does seem to be living out for that being the case. So, I mean, it's what you'd expect. They need to make money. People aren't going to want to buy the crappy stuff, so they're going to put the good stuff behind the paywall. That does also mean that the free stuff that we're getting isn't as great as a lot of people would want. Something I want to be clear about, though, is there's a lot of people talking about the filler content, and I know I've used that word as well, for a lot of the blood sprays, marks, banners, and things like that we're getting in the Tour of Duty. A lot of that, it feels like filler, but it's there for a reason. You could have, so we have 43 levels in our Tour of Duty, and each one gives us a reward, and then there's also the medal rewards. To start with, that's all free content, and that's great. They could have easily just taken like the 5 characters and weapon skin sets that we wanted out of Tour of Duty and made it 5 really big like levels, and it would have taken us a week or 2 to get through each of those levels. And like, yeah, so we'd get the stuff that we want and wouldn't get all the filler, but it would really feel like a grind. By breaking it up into these 43 individual levels, we feel a better sense of progression and we are getting more stuff out of it. The other thing I want to add is that there's a lot of, let's just use marks for example. There's a lot of marks that people don't like, and then they might find that one that they really like. By doing this carpet bombing method or shotgun blast method where they throw a bunch of stuff at us, and a lot of it seems like low quality or that no one cares, chances are someone's going to find something in there that they really like. And that's just one method to go about it. They could do a precision one where they want to like just release a couple things and make sure it's something that most people will really like. Or they can put a bunch of stuff out there and hope that everyone can find at least one thing that they personally like. So I don't really have an issue with that. The issue I do have is with that stuff that is targeted to be the things that everyone would want. That stuff is all going behind the paywall, it looks like. Insert the new Boltok execution here. That's something that can change. I don't think that's going to change for Operation 1, but it can change, and maybe based on feedback it will. Maybe, I'm like, to give them the benefit of the doubt, maybe they already have some really great stuff planned to be free, but we just haven't seen it yet. Let's go into vaulting items. I guess on the Tour of Duty theme, I'm going to stick with that for a second. They are vaulting the stuff in the Tour of Duty once that ends. Once that ends, you will not be able to earn that again. It sounded like forever, like you would never be able to earn it again. But recently it sounded like they were saying, okay, yeah, maybe like in a year out or something like that. In my opinion, the length should be 1 to 2 seasons. If it stays exclusive to those people for 1 to 2 seasons, then that's great, they got it. Let's put it back in the store, and yeah. But let's get over to vaulting of the store items. These I don't think should ever be vaulted. I don't know any game that actually does vault them, unless it's like a special holiday themed thing, or I guess the game Paladins has like their different seasons, but the stuff's available all season and then gets vaulted. So by vaulting it, as soon as it goes away, especially the daily or weekly items, you create the FOMO, or fear of missing out, or this like false scarcity of the item. It's gonna drive incentive for people to buy that item like really quickly instead of sitting there debating whether or not they should buy it. And that's great in the short term. The coalition can make a lot of money off of people that way. But it's also going to upset a lot of people, and really I feel in the long run it just hurts the company and digs them into a hole. Not only does it hurt their PR because people get mad, but they need to get their money's worth out of that item while it's in there. It took time for someone to develop that thing, no matter how simple it was. That had to be developed, tested, approved, put into the game, all that stuff. They need to make money off of it. I don't know this to be the case, but let's look at Sweater Vest Mac, or whatever he's called in the store right now. My guess is that not too many people bought that. I didn't see many people posting about that at all online, and now they're saying, due to popular demand, he's going to come back for a second week. My guess is that they didn't sell enough to justify the development time that went into making him, so they need him out there again for another week in order to recoup that cost. There's people making fun of the coalition for saying due to popular demand because nobody has seen this demand. Maybe they have stuff on the back end that backs that up, but I don't know anyone who has seen that. So it really, to summarize, vaulting the stuff, it angers the community, it hurts TC, it hurts the community, it's just not good. We're buying things, we're not earning it, there's no need for the I was there exclusivity. Let's see. I called this section Shady Practices because I didn't really have a better word for it. This sort of covers the artificial scarcity and overcharging for things, but it also seems like they're intentionally setting the bar really low out of the door for them. By setting this bar really low, they have a lot of room to improve on their system, so they can end up doing something like, alright, we have these $10 characters. Now, hey, based on fan feedback, now they're only $7. And people will be like, oh, yay, it's only a $7 character now, and go rush out and buy it and be happy and content and move on with their life. In reality, at least in my view, $7 is still really expensive for what you're getting. So what all they're doing is setting the bar really low so that they have room to improve, and they show that they improved, they make people happy, even though that new state that we're at is still not really that great. The other thing, so and also, I just want to say I don't know this to be the case. I like to give them benefit of the doubt sometimes, but sometimes it's just really hard. So the other kind of, it's not really shady, but just thing I don't like is we're in this era where gaming feels like a business now. It's always been a business, but now it really starts to feel like it. Gears 5 plays amazingly. Like, the core gameplay is awesome. But it also seems like they spend an insane amount of time trying to figure out, oh, hey, we can make this execution cost money, or hey, we can do these emotes and make more money. Let's separate banners and marks and make money off of those. We're probably going to get some other new type of cosmetic coming into the game. It just seems like the game is now is the background for their store, and they're really just selling people a store. And so the next aspect, this isn't in my Reddit post at all, but it's, we bought this game, or some of us bought the game. It's on Game Pass, which doesn't exactly help the coalition. Well, it probably does in some way. But it's a $60 game. Whether you got it on Game Pass or you straight up bought it, it is a $60 game. And they're selling stuff to us like it's a free-to-play. Not only that, but they're selling stuff at prices higher than some free-to-play games. That doesn't sit right with me. You look at Fortnite, that's like an example that comes up all the time. Fortnite is free-to-play. The stuff, for the most part, is cheaper than what we see in Gears. And if you're someone like me who actually bought the Save the World edition of Fortnite, you can actually earn their V-Bucks in-game. There's no way to earn iron through playing right now, and that's something that I feel really needs to change. I think re-ups should give like 250 iron or something like that. But the fact that we're getting charged free-to-play prices for a non-free-to-play game is crazy. So what would I do to change stuff? Let's kind of wrap it up with that. Lower the prices. This is a given. This is like the biggest complaint from the community that I've seen. I'm not one to spend money on aesthetics, so I can't really speak to what the prices should be, but I gotta believe they're gonna change. Don't vault stuff. If you're talking about the Tour of Duty, yeah, go ahead and vault it, and just bring it back after 1 to 2 seasons. Store items should never be vaulted. As I said before, that hurts the coalition and it hurts the community. Increase the quality of free items. We're getting a lot of like free items, and that is awesome, but I'd like to see some quality stuff come out of that. And lastly, let's just be more honest. I get that the coalition wants to make money, but like, I have this feeling that they're trying to sneak stuff by us. I don't know what it is, but there's something deep down that just feels like they're trying to be sneaky. I've gotten to this state where I'm just always skeptical of what they do, so maybe that's just me. But yeah, I'd like to not feel that way, and I don't know what they can do to make me not feel that way. Let's see. So closing comments. As I said before, Coalition's heard a ton of feedback on all of this. I'm 100% positive they will be making a change. I don't know when that will be. I find it pretty unfortunate that, like, the Gears 4 launch system sucked. Everyone can agree on that. But they made some really good strides, and they got really far with that system. And near the end, it was actually pretty close to something that I'd say is fairly ideal and benefited both the consumer and the developer. It kind of sucks that Gears 5 took a giant step back. Yeah, they are going to be working towards fixing that, and maybe it will end up being better than what we had at the end of Gears 4, but it was a really big step back, and that's just not great. What I'm going to end with is something pretty obvious, and that's make your voice heard, vote with your wallet. If you don't like the system, stop buying stuff. Like, yeah, I said before, they're going to be making a change. There's no way that they can let this go without making a change. But if you want it to come faster, vote with your wallet. They'll make it a higher priority. They'll raise it up the chain internally. So, thanks for watching this, everyone. Let me know if you enjoyed this type of video where I just do a oneer and I sit here and talk instead of reading a script. So, thanks for watching, everyone. I will catch you next time.